Welcome to 56W's Victorian film, where we are taking you back to where this period began. Firstly, we are going to introduce you to Queen Victoria. Here is our famous women team who report on this part of the Victorian era.
In this, you will learn about the famous British monarch. Her life started as a very young princess and it grew greater as she got older.
Victoria was born on the 24th of May, 1819, and she was born at Kensington Palace. She came to the throne in 1838. Her coronation was on the 28th of June.
She married her first cousin Albert. They had 9 children during their time together.
But unfortunately, Albert passed away in 1861 of typhoid. After Albert died, she wore black for the rest of her days.
She died in 1901. She was 81 years old.
Now that we have explored the famous women, we will take you to the deepest part of the Poor Law.
Poor law was introduced in 1834 due to too many paupers living on the streets.
Many people were pleased of the government's doing because it meant the streets were cleaner.
Also, it saved the government money and gave people a place to live.
In contrast, the poor people weren't happy.
We read a book called Street Child, and the main character, Jim, got beaten and he got tasteless food.
We think that the workhouse is a good and bad idea because you get somewhere to sleep and live, but you get treated badly. After listening to wow, they really were hard-working people and they weren't treated fairly. Okay, after that dark patch of the Victorian era, let us look at how things have improved. Our invention team are eagerly waiting to tell you about the changes that allowed for the Industrial Revolution. In the Victorian times, lots of inventions were made, and here are some of them. The Clifton Bridge, Coca-Cola and the telephone were invented during this period. Coke was made by Asa Griggs Candler. It was first used for medicine. Victorian inventions are still around in our era. Some of the most famous inventors were Isambard Kingdom Brunel, George Stephenson and Alexander Graham Bell. Alexander was the second person to make the telephone, but he was the first to publish it. Wow, if it wasn't for all those inventions, we wouldn't have things that we have today and better.
Hang on a minute, was there a new law brought in, the Factory Act, that made things even better?
The Factory Act was introduced in 1833 by Lord Shaftesbury because he felt strongly about the bad conditions inside the factories.
Children were getting badly hurt due to the factory owners who sent the children under dangerous machines.
The Factory Act tried to stop factories, but they failed, so then they tried to reduce working hours and stop kids going under machines.
This helped children get more education during this time.
The Factory Act tried to be truly amazing, but failed. It got children homes and education, although it also, factory owners didn't usually pay attention to it as there were very small fines and fewer inspectors. Now we have even more incredible men of their time.
One of the most famous Victorian men was Isambard Kingdom Brunel.
Brunel was born in 1806. He created the Clifton Suspension Bridge and many others. George Stephenson invented the railways.
He made the Manchester to Liverpool railway. It was called the Rocket.
Brunel died in 1859 and George Stephenson died in 1848.
These are just two of the many great inventors from this time.
We have decided that one man has inspired us because of what he has written. Many children can enjoy this experience, and his name is Charles Dickens. Charles Dickens was born on the 7th of February 1812. He was a famous author in Victorian times. Being in Victorian times was very hard, and Charles expressed his feelings in his brilliant books.
He travelled the world in search for new ideas.
He really made a difference, and we read his books today. In literacy, we read Oliver Twist and Nicholas Nickleby and found out what it was like in the Victorian times.
When Charles Dickens was older, he went mad and unfortunately he died.
That was a fantastic close to this show and the end of our journey through the Victorian period. We hope you have learnt a lot from our incredible film. It explodes with education.
Thank you to all the children who have helped make this film.